It is time. Hello, 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 and welcome to Mahala Monday. Fantastic to have you along with us for another exciting episode on a Monday with Mahala Monday. So hope you are just absolutely brilliant, and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Dougal. Rhoda is here. Hello.
Hello, Dougal. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, on a very cold Monday morning. So I'm
Not
really, all mental.
Not cold.
But I know for a fact that there's a lot of people out there sitting with a cup of soup right now, Dougal. I know you've got your soup there. I know you've got that. And your coffee. And those with a glass of wine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And enjoy it while we're freezing here. But otherwise, we're good.
I'm just joking. It is super, super cold. Wherever you are, just remember to remain warm and
Yes.
you know, and be safe, especially if you're out there. An interactive show it is, which is always the good news, which means we look forward to your comments, your opinions, and of course, your questions that you have. But let's get straight into it because tonight is a very, very exciting show. I'm looking forward to this.
Oh, most definitely, Dougal. You know, I'm always excited because especially when we have guests like these, like we've got tonight, the guests we've got tonight, you know, they're always the interesting people, the people out there that's making it, the mover, the shakers.
Yeah,
so this is him, he's a mover, he's a shaker, you know, and I'm excited as well. So woo-hoo.
I've seen him move and shake.
Oh, have you seen that?
I've seen him move and
in a
shake.
pair of heels. Oh, brother, I'm telling you, definitely.
I've seen him move and shake. But you're absolutely right. That is what we do here on Mahala Monday. We talk about, of course, everything that is happening and going in and around in our worlds, which you got to know about just to have that conversation started. But also very important, we talk to people who are making a difference and making a difference in such a meaningful and an impactful way, but also somebody that you know. Now, of course, you all know who is joining us this evening, but let me just tell you, this person, before I reveal his name, was, and I've known, and he'll correct us shortly, but I think I've known him since early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
We've worked together for many years. Yeah, so we've known each other, I know exceptionally well. But also, this person was one of the sexiest people around. No. We're talking accolades here. This is champagne level here.
Another level.
So, sexiest people alive, one of the most influential people in South Africa, one of the most influential young people in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah, this person has been on stage, a phenomenal stage performer, actor, of course. You've seen this person everywhere, presenter, MC, comedian, and that is how our journey started. And it is truly a privilege to have the gentleman here. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, joining us this evening, there is Siv Ngesi. Welcome to Mahala Monday. My brother, how are you?
Hey, thanks to you guys. Thanks for having me.
It's really great having you here. Quickly, I said to Rhoda now, I've known you for quite a bit. What is it? Mid-2000s, early 2000s? Is right about that?
Yeah, definitely. 2006.
Yeah.
Oh.
And just to be clear, I'm younger than you. All right.
Is that so?
Just want to put it out there. But quickly, man, for people who don't know, who is Siv? Tell them, who is Siv? Where does Siv come from? Where do you hail from, sir?
It's so funny when you're like listing all my accolades. It's so funny how I'm 38 now, turning 39, and I realized that as you were listing them, there was a conversation inside of me going, even if I didn't have those things, I still think I'd be a great person. And it's just a weird little thing that I just said in my head. It's like there are more important things to me than the accolades. I'm from Kukuletu. Grew up in Kukuletu, then moved to Langa, and then moved to Pinelands. I'm a 39-year-old boy who's just still looking for the approval from his mother. My mother passed away a year and a half ago, and I think till even when I'm 70 years old, I'll just be a young boy who just wants the approval from his mother, and that's the quintessential being of what makes me me. It's just trying to make my mother proud every day has just been this never-ending story and even after she left or passed away, I think I realized that I'm just looking for her approval, and and that's my mission for life.
Listen,
beautiful.
Siv, let me tell you, man, and I say this only because we also have a relationship, man. She's smiling on you, man, as all of us
most
are.
definitely.
Nah, and really it is. But yes, you've got many accolades, and rightly so. You deserve all of them. You deserve a lot more. But you touch on something very, very essential there. And you said, you know, seeking approval from a parent, which I completely understand. But that also speaks to a bigger drive. That speaks to that true human element. So the human. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that you're always trying to just bring positive impact everywhere you go.
I had a friend, I was speaking to a lady today, and she was like, your human interaction is your currency. I was like, yeah, that's my currency. My currency is humans. My currency is people. It's priceless, and it what keeps me going every day is that currency. Like for me, the zeros have never been the mission, and I can tell you now, 39, 38, they're still not the mission. I want to make people feel good. I want to leave them better than when I arrived. But if you don't like me, it's none of my business at the same time. You know what I mean? Like there's a brilliant balance of, you know what I mean? I say to people, I'm like oysters. I'm like caviar. I'm like sushi and anal sex. Not everyone loves it.
There we go. There we go. And we saw on your website now, it said they serve the entertainer, the actor, and the human. So that's obviously one of those things that really close to you, the human factor.
Yeah, man. I think, you know, I think we're just gonna go back to basics. So I was speaking to someone today at Paddle today, and South Africans are great in extreme moments. When the rugby's won, there's a World Cup that's been won, there's a final, or when something bad happens. My mission is to work on that middle ground. The middle is where I think the magic should be with South Africans, is to be really, to make the magic in the big, in that middle, the consistency, the everyday things. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about.
And the fact that you're obviously, I mean, you're exceptionally, you're a proficient entertainer, of course, that gives you that flexibility in terms of like, you know, to move through tough times, to transition with the good times, and just really bring that essential human side there as well. Do you find that?
No, you know, for me, when you watch performers perform, there is something about a performer who can relate with people on a human basis. Like if someone says, once upon a time there was an alien, you can look at them like, what? What's an alien? But if you can talk about someone and talk about day-to-day things, day-to-day connections with human beings, I think for me that is important. I think human beings are the fundamentals of our job. Sometimes if you ever watch people and ask them who's your favorite performer, they'll give you a list. One, maybe because they're good looking, or B, because they have something about them that just feels authentic and real. Like, and for me, I try to be as real as possible, but unfortunately, there's a price to pay because in the modern day times, sometimes real is not as traumatic for others. I don't think so I don't think the world is ready for consistency of realness. I'm real whether you like me or not. And as you can see, the people behind me are two of my favorite heroes, which is Muhammad Ali and Nelson Mandela. Not everyone loved them. People had bad things to say about them, but they consistently stayed on the path and consistently stayed on the mission and paid the price every single time.
So true.
Very good, very good. So wait, but listen, we got a comment or two that we just want to get in because we suspect one or two will come in. And Mark Sauls, thank you very much. Mark says, if you don't like me, that's none of my business. I absolutely love it, which is what you say.
For me,
if
you don't like me, but if you don't like me and you don't have my number, you don't have the right to not like me if you don't have my number.
Yeah.
Like if you have my number and you can message me and call me to tell me you don't like me, then sharp, then that's right, sharp.
There we go. And then Hubert's got the comment there. He says, good evening. And he says, Abraham Lincoln said, all that I am or ever hope to be, I owe to my angel mother. So I think that's obviously exactly.
And that's exactly how, that's exactly where you started off the show this evening, Siv. So thanks, Hubert. Thank you, Mark, for those. Keep the comments coming, everybody. That is what we really like it. If you've got a question for Siv, we will really like to pose it to him as well. But so we touched on a lot of things, of course, what drives you, leaving people in a better state than you would have find that. Is that one of the driving factors that actually makes you get up in the morning?
Yeah, I think, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to personalize this, friend. You've had a trauma, you've had a loss. Waking up in the morning sometimes is difficult. It's difficult. There are days when you just don't want to wake up. And for me, I for the last year and a half, I've been in a crazy bad grief, and the voice in my head is her going, "What are you gonna do in bed? Like, what are you gonna do in bed? Like, get up, like, relax, get up." You know what I mean? Like, so that I have my mother's voice in my ear going, "Hey, stop moping around, get up." You know what I mean? If I was still around, I wouldn't want you to be moping around. And secondly, every day I wake up, I know that I have the potential to do something great. I'll be honest, today I played paddle. I lay on this couch for the last 6 hours and did nothing else. And I'm going to get up and make some food. But I definitely, I got series in, I got some rest, I made some food. And I'm happy with that. I'm not on a mission to every single day be great. I have days when I can be average. I really, but when I have to be great, I'll be great. I'm not on a mission to be great every day. Like, I don't mind being average. I haven't showered. I haven't showered. I'm sitting here. I'll be honest, guys, I don't smell great. I'm fine. I'm just a normal, everyday human. But if my phone rang right now and someone said, you have to be on stage in an hour, I'm ready.
There we go.
I'm ready.
And I was actually just going to ask you on that. So obviously, for you to remain authentic, the Siv that you basically are, and to be true to yourself, and facing obviously the industry that you're in is changing all the time. So how do you find yourself being true to yourself through all of this?
I think you have to. I think you have to be on your toes. I think it's like boxing. You must never be flat-footed. You just got to be on your toes, continuously working, continuously evolving, and then sometimes going back to the drawing board and going, "This didn't work. I sucked today," and go back to the drawing board. Like, currently, I'm going back to comedy. I'm busy writing a new show.
Oh, wow.
And there's moments when ideas just aren't as good as they were as I imagined, and I have to go back to the drawing board and re-look at it and reimagine it. I'm turning 39 now, so 18-year-olds don't relate with me. You know what I mean? I have to be able to stay on my toes and be able to see where I can be relatable and what I can do. The market's changing, people are changing, the views are changing. I can see the world's becoming. I think we're getting over that wokeness. That there was a wokeness that was taking us, that was making it hard to be an entertainer.
That was.
I'm seeing it die. I'm seeing it die down. I'm seeing it die down. I survived it. I haven't been cancelled yet. They've tried to cancel me. But even if they did cancel me, I would still rise. I would still rise. But I think you've got to be on your toes, man. You've got to really be on your toes. It's an environment that's always moving. So you're on a treadmill, and the treadmill's moving left and right. It's going upside down. And the ones who think they can just run in a straight line will not survive.
So,
well said.
Yeah, but that's a very interesting conversation, because this is something we always talk about, like, behind the backstage and this sort of thing. And if we look at comedy for the industry we both in, it's constantly changing. And I was having a bit of a giggle when you said, you're 39-year-old, you walk on stage and an 18-year-old. That happened to me, and it was quite a moment though. I walked up and I realized, this is. Do you know what I mean? Whatever I've planned to talk about tonight has got no relevance to that. They've got no idea. They're not going to have ideas. Basically, you speaking algebra to a bunch of rugby players. I know it's a silly analogy, but let's do that. Most rugby players are a lot smarter and obviously a lot bigger than me. So the point is, but you got to make people relate. So when you stay on your toes, and you gotta pivot, because there's the deliverables that you as a performer want to deliver. You want the audience to leave with certain
Yeah.
things, you know, and
Yeah.
and that pivot moment, and that I find for myself, that's the moment where you become alive. And sometimes you almost gotta like push yourself in that direction just to
Yeah.
get the best out of you. Do you also follow that where you just kind of, you know, hope you kind of hope sometimes things are just die mekaar in a rai, and just to galvanize some sort of focus?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I haven't done comedy in about 7 years.
Oh,
7 years
wow.
now. No. I haven't done a comedy one-man show or club gigs. I've been
Yeah.
doing it in private corporate.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
creating a lot of stuff and creating stuff that's more true to self. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes when things are a bit frantic and hectic, it is good to take a deep breath, take a moment, and come back to what makes you you. So since I did comedy, now I'm doing drag, I'm doing pole dancing. I talk more about masculinity. I talk more about the queer community. So I have a lot more views that I didn't have then. You know what I mean? I've lost my mother, so now there's a vulnerability and I understand. I think I've become a softer person since I lost my mother. I think I've become more empathetic to human beings, which has changed my views and where I am when I'm on stage. You know what I mean? Like I watched some comedy yesterday, and some performers said things that I felt about. Oh, okay, cool. I don't agree with that. And then I go, why didn't I agree with that? I didn't have that 7 years ago.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
So I do feel like I'll be a better version of myself now than I was 7 years ago as a performer. I think 6 years ago. But I do think I am man enough to go into a space and go, I'm not relevant here. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind. You know what I mean? I really don't mind. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm fine. But there are some universal things. Everyone brushes their teeth. Everyone goes to the toilet. You know, everyone eats fruit. So I had to change. So I used to talk a lot about race. And now race doesn't really interest me. It's weird. It used to interest me. Now it doesn't. Like racists. And I was like, what? You don't like it because of the complexion of my skin? Wow. Who are you? Shop by. You know what I mean? You know, there are enough people fighting racism there. But when it comes to like fighting for the mind, like the queer community or women or there I'm in because there I'm like this is the crazy injustice. I think this is my thing. You know. So I'm evolving.
Oh, wow.
And I do feel you become a man when you've lost your parents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I've lost both my parents.
Oh, wow.
I feel like a man. I feel like I've got, you know what I mean? Like I used to write jokes and go, I don't want my mother to hear this. I used to write jokes and go, what do my mother think about this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now she doesn't have to be in the audience anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I'll taking bigger risks.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, man.
yeah.
I do believe there's a comment.
And it's also about that authenticity. Listen, we got a quick comment. We just want to run a quick comment in, and then I want to ask you something else as well, where we're getting to, of course, with this conversation today. But it's really just fascinating. Hubert says, life is a journey. It should never be a destination. And that is what you're speaking to. That is what you're speaking about. Because all these experiences along the way create a much better version of what is to come.
Like my best friend had a heartbreak recently, a little while ago. I just said to her, "Come on, chums, man. Like he wasn't the destination. Like you know what I mean. We can move on. There'll be another destination, another place to go in there, and we can always keep on moving. But I feel like a lot of us are so final. Like we're so final. But the irony of it is that we live our lives like, for example, death. Death is so final, but we don't treat every day like we're going to die. We treat every day like we're going to live forever. But everyone's like, nah, bro, we're going to die, bro. What's so thick? You know what I mean? Like, why you act like you're not going to die? You should live every day like you're going to die tomorrow.
So there's some exciting news happening, especially this week, because I do believe this week there's going to be a release of you being on the cover of a magazine, which is called The Word Mag. And the title of the mag, I believe it is, as you can see, Unapologetically Siv. So obviously, I mean, very exciting times, and looking at you there on the magazine, I mean, look at you, I'm telling you. So how did you find the interview? And I mean, just finding you on this mag, I'm quite excited about it as well. And sorry, Dougal, and so I had a sneak preview, but the reading of a bit of the magazine, and I was fascinated. So you know what? Everybody needs to go and actually go and have a look at this and go and read up a bit about you as well. It must have been very interesting.
The interviewer was a great interviewer. She was really incredibly researched, and I had a great time speaking to her. But interesting enough, she sent me the draft, and she was like, "Please read it." And I was like, "No, I know what I said. If you misquoted me and someone has an opinion of me, I don't really care what people think, you know."
Exactly.
So like, I really try and live and breathe the unapologeticness of the truth of me. It's taken a long time to fake it till you're able to get to the point when you go to bed and you go, "I'm happy with the person that I am." It was a great interview. I really loved it. I loved the shoot as well, and I loved how it finally came out.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
So people want to get, of course, their hands on this, and obviously they go to the website. Yes, Rhoda?
That's right, yes. And there's what's displayed there at the bottom of the screen, so you can just click on that link and then go and have a look at the magazine and actually just go sit and read about it. And you know what? I actually do find this magazine, I've read some other articles in them as well, very, very interesting. So there it is, www.wordmag.co.za. And you know what? Go and read up about Siv. Siv, I had a good laugh. It was very good. And you know what? It was unapologetic and straightforward and to the point. So definitely very interesting read.
Does it take a lot of courage, Siv, to be true to yourself, what you think in the moment, what you feel in the moment, and you don't want to step on toes? You know, if we can use what you say there, unapologetically, Siv. You don't apologize for who you are and what you want and how you want it and how you feel. And I think that's what you're speaking to. You're speaking about that human side, that you got to be considerate.
You know, I think you can be truthful as you want, as authentic as you want, as long as you're not hurting people.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't believe you should hurt people. I don't go out to hurt people or make people feel less than. But I do know I'm an acquired taste. I don't think everyone loves me or everyone should love me. And I think if everyone likes you, you're doing nothing with your life. Like really, if everyone likes you, then you know there's a problem. But I do think the world currently, if you say you love apples, the world will go, "What about oranges?" I'm like, "No, I like apples. You can love oranges if you want, but I like apples." And I wish I knew this earlier, man. I think that when you're younger, you try to make everyone love you and everyone. And I think these have always been my two heroes. And for me, I just want to be as truthful and as honest as possible. If I have moments of not being truthful, it bothers me. Like I want to walk back and go, "Actually, what I meant was this." So like I really do want to get my truthful stuff out there. And sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes it's easier.
And this is the thing. It is always that sort of, you know, like balance, I suppose, in a good way. But I love what you say there, not hurting people, and this is so important. But to you, of course, there's a huge humanitarian side as well. That some people are aware of, and but
if you have money and you haven't given a portion of that money to someone else, you have failed. It's simple. It is simple. If you have 10 Rand and you're eating 10 Rand without giving, when I say give, I mean if you have a family and you're plowing it back into your family, or if you have kids, plowing it back. But if you are eating 10 Rand and you're eating all of it, that's an analogy, I think you failed. I have no qualms about that. That's what I believe. I think, and I think if you put money before people, I think you failed again, and you'll pay the price for it in the future. I'm all about giving. I'm all about giving. I'm all about giving. I'm all about serving, and I'm all about giving back. And I think I don't believe in religion, but I think every religion, every culture believes the same. I think people are quite selective with what they take from religion and culture. But for me, it's all about giving back. It's all about giving back.
Yeah. And I mean, like, one of the that comes through on your website as well.
Yeah.
and how important it is to give back. Do you think that we find ourselves now where people are actually doing a little bit more? Do you think as a society, as a community, we're a little bit more aware of our circumstances than, let's say, we were a while ago? Do you think we're moving away from where people are just onlookers and, oh no, somebody will help me? But there's a bigger tendency now where people actually want to help themselves, which kind of speeds it up, because that's what I find. I think there's a lot of wonderful initiatives out there. I think a lot more people are getting involved, but I also take your point, not as much as there should be. But you know, there's a bigger galvanization when it comes to helping, and on all aspects. We're not just talking about money, people giving money to donate, but also donating time. I mean, it's Mandela Month as well, and Mandela Day is literally around the corner. Do you find that, Siv?
I think human beings at the moment, I think everyone's struggling at the moment. I think people are struggling. I think people really are struggling. But there is something about when you're not feeling liquor and giving someone something that makes you feel liquor. And I think people don't realize that giving, it always comes back 20-fold. But I do think that people want to do more, but I do think there's a lot of people out there who are chance takers. I think people who are exploiting. For example, crazy example. Do you know that from the 10th of July, Ireland is going to be making South Africans have to get a visa to get into Ireland? One of the only countries in Europe that didn't allow that. We didn't have to get visas. And one of the reasons that a lot of South Africans have been exploiting the system. A lot of South Africans have been taking up the visa, no visa thing, and then staying on there forever, or fake visas, fake passports, etc., etc. That's not helping anyone else. Now Ireland has gone, actually, now we're sick and tired of this. So I think sometimes I think there are a lot of people out there who make it bad for everyone else. Even for me, I used to see backer buddies. I used to put money in there immediately.
Yeah.
I used to click on every link and share, and you realize people are exploiting us. So I think other people make it hard for other people.
Yeah.
So you're currently obviously running with some projects as well in charity, and pioneering some of them as well. Can you mention some of them by any chance?
So at the moment, I'm actually going to China in 2 weeks if they give me a visa. I'm one of the biggest distributors of sanitary pads in the African continent. At the moment, I distribute about 550,000 sanitary pads per month to about 60,000 women every single month. I'm opening up my own sanitary pad factory in the next few months. And we'll be distributing one of the cheapest sanitary pads in the African continent. I want to be the biggest, and I want to be the best, and I want to get to the point where my charity is not needed, where sanitary pads are free in the African continent. I'll start with South Africa, and the mission is to end period poverty in South Africa in the next 2 years.
Wow, hats off to you.
Listen, we wish you well, because all the information that people will be able to find out, can they go to www.menstruation.foundation?
Yes, that's where you can find us if you want to donate anything. But at the moment, we're one step closer to ending period poverty. So I'm going to China to go learn and collect our factory, and then we're opening up a sanitary pad factory.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, this is something I've always spoken about, because you know what? And on your website, I actually saw that as well, where they say they're prepared to put condoms basically in the toilets, but they don't put sanitary towels in the toilets for the girls. And I know we had a show as well where we actually spoke about, and we had a lady that also did the sanitary towels, and she obviously had the cloth ones. And just what the girls was actually doing out in the communities, that, you know, it's actually so sad, because like you said, alleviate the poverty, menstrual poverty, because a lot of girls get affected because they get their periods, they can actually not go to school. So hats off to you. You know what, and what makes me so excited is the fact that it's a man doing this, you know, and you basically saying there's a problem, we need to solve this. So well done, hats off to you. And I do believe this, you were saying?
So I think the problem with for me, that I think what society has done is made menstruation a woman thing, which is just the weirdest thing in the world. Like, how can something that helps create other people be a thing for just half? It's like, how is that possible? So for me, it irritates me. I think the only time a lot of us men interact with the period or menstruation is when we're trying to have sex with women.
So true.
Then we're like, oh, she's on her period.
Yeah.
Okay, let's avoid her. And then the only time men celebrate periods is when a woman who they've had unprotected sex is on her period. Then we're like, oh, she's not pregnant. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's only when it pleases us that it concerns us. But I was raised in a household of women. And for me, I had no choice but to learn and to be involved.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And you're 100% right. This is not a woman thing. It's not a woman's issue, especially when it comes to making sure that there's sanitary products freely available and as much as possible. This is a human thing, something everybody should galvanize around.
Definitely.
For sure, man. Do you know that in India they say women shouldn't go to pray when they're on their period, but the men go all the way to pray to the god of fertility.
Oh. Chicken.
What?
Yeah.
What? And then in Japanese culture, women don't make sushi. You know why? Because when they don't make sushi when they're on their period. Because why? Their hands are dirty because they're bleeding. But they can go home and make food for the kids and the husband.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no. Cheese. Totally. Oh.
So like it blows my mind. But hey, it's and here's another thing about giving back. I think another thing that I have learned from these two men is that I think it's okay to give back because it feels good. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. You know what I mean? Like we eat food to energize us, but it's okay if it tastes good. You know what I mean? What I do think is that I think I hate poverty porn. I hate people showing people that they're doing something. I think it's easy to make money from showing people, but I think you must respect people. Like you won't see people. I don't want to see people's faces. I don't like that kind of that kind of giving back. I don't think it needs to be. I think people's dignity must still be intact. So I think that's what it's about. But if you're giving back to make yourself feel good, that's fine.
Yeah. No, it is. So how can Joe Public get involved? How can they just go to the website and there will be things for you to get involved with?
I want to challenge people to go beyond just donating money to me. I want to go. For me, as a woman or a man, do you know that 21 million people, 21 to 22 million women bleed every single month? 22 million or so, right? 8 million of those 22 million can't afford sanitary pads. 4 of those million are at school, right? If every woman if every woman who can afford sanitary pads bought an extra pack, there'll be no period poverty.
Oh wow.
To do what?
Yeah.
So if every woman who can afford bought sanitary pads, yes. But if every third man bought half a packet of sanitary pads, with the half, there'd be more sanitary pads left over for every single woman on the African continent for decades.
Sure.
Right? Now, it's that simple. I challenge that if you have a packet of sanitary pads and you buy one, I challenge you to buy another pack, have it in your car. And if you see a woman at the traffic lights, give it to her.
Oh wow.
I simply, I'm not going to beg and plead for money. No, that's not what I'm going to do here. I want to turn it on its head. Have an extra pack in your car. Or if you're struggling, then I challenge you to take a sealed bag, like use your gloves and take 3 or 4 and put it in a nice sealed bag and put it in the traffic lights. Because we do give sandwiches, but that particular woman has to pick between a loaf of bread or a sandwich or a packet of sanitary pads. Or do I feed my kids or do I not have blood running down my legs? What a choice.
Wow.
That's hard.
So a lot of people talk about how you can't feed a hungry child. But can you? No, you can't teach a hungry child. But can you teach a child with blood running down her legs? No, you can't.
You cannot.
I put period poverty up with hunger. I put it here because if a young girl has to eat, she has to pick between eating or sanitary pads, right? So they're there. Oh, they're there.
Tough choices, man.
Same as education, same as food, same as water. Put them here. Don't give them levels. Give them food, give them water, give them sanitary pads, and just put it here. It's human dignity.
So true. Oh.
And it is when you explain it like that, it is a very simple thing to understand. But it is It is complex in a way because I think a lot of people sometimes are not involved. People are not aware of what's going around them. So I like the way that you're challenging this as well, and I want people to really step up. Because what Rhoda was mentioning to me as well, because and this is why you say people could definitely got to read the article.
Almost definitely.
They definitely got to read it because you unpack things very very nicely. So you got to go check out the word mag, dear viewer. Definitely do that. But Siv, I want to know, just moving on there quickly, and listen, we wish you all the best. So you're going to the Far East to go learn more, and of course with these endeavors, we wish you all the best with it.
Definitely.
We really do, and keep challenging people to get involved and be part of this. This is an incredible journey, and I hope you definitely reach the goal. It is very very possible, but for now. Yeah, for now, what else do you have going on? Because people would have seen you, of course, they see you on the big screen, they see you on the small screen. You're talking about doing some stuff on stage again. Where can people find you? What is coming up?
I have one Netflix show and one Netflix film coming out this year. I'm producing a new international TV show at the end of the year, producing and lead. Busy producing a couple of films as well that I'm acting in and producing. And then I'm coming back to stand-up comedy. I'm busy writing a show called Mommy's Boy, which is an ode to my mother. And it's a show, like I only talk about her death the last 8 minutes of the show. And the rest of the show is about explaining to people why I am who I am. And by the end, it comes together about it's my mother, but it's just about my views on gender, period poverty, masculinity, sex, and my views on the world. It's just an ode to my mother and who made me who I am.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I like that. I like that. I like that. And of course, the people want to find out more about the shows and everything. They can visit your website. Go to iamsiv.com.
iamsiv.com, Siv, I am Siv N on Twitter, Siv Ngesi on Instagram, and same thing on Facebook. I answer questions and I engage as much as possible, and I talk a lot of cuck as well.
I like it. Thank you so much, Siv.
Listen, so before we go, I got to ask you here, because we got to do this. From now on, I'm going to ask everybody a piece of advice. Yes. Somebody is watching this and they hear this inspirational man say, listen, I don't make excuses for me. I know my flaws. I know my strengths. I know what I want. And you either like me or you don't. But I'm going to give you my truth. And I'm not gonna harm anybody. I'm not here to offend people. I'm just giving you my truth. And I want to make the world a better place. What advice can you give people?
For me, the mission is every day I try to live my life that one day when I'm about to die, I'm on my deathbed. If the man I had the potential to become walked into the room, I want him to be the same man who's lying in the deathbed, right? Because for me, my definition of hell is being on my deathbed and the man I could have become says to me, Siv, if only you were nicer. Siv, if only you work harder. And Siv, if only you took every opportunity. That for me is hell. Because for me, I want the man who's lying there to be exactly the same man who walks in. And that's for me, it continuously hard work, working smart, giving back, and taking every opportunity possible. I think a lot of us, we live in a time that you can find a community for everything. So if you say the world is flat, you can go on the internet and there'll be like millions of people who tell you the world is flat. It is flat. And if you are saying something wrong, you can Google it and some people will agree with you. And for me, surround yourself with people who challenge you.
Thank you, thank you.
I like that. And that's quite insightful, Mr. Ngesi.
Very much so.
I was asked on the show the other day who my heroes are. And I said Muhammad Ali, Nelson Mandela, my mother, and the man I have the potential to become. I'll never meet him. I'll never, ever meet him.
Wow. Wow.
But I was at Loftus on Saturday. Loftus, very Afrikaans, but I was getting stopped by every second or third person. I was like, what? But none of them was telling me that they love watching my shows. They were like, I love your views. I love your content online. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm doing it right. And it's just about sharing my authentic self. Ironically, I watched a comedian yesterday who was so good. But all I wanted to tell him was, I promise you, if you speak in your natural voice and you use less big words, you just try to connect with people, I promise you, you'll do better than if you're trying to like you're something that you're not.
So
It's a secret.
It is the secret. And you discover that by just trial and error.
Failing. You discover it by
There we go.
failing.
That's it.
Failing and failing and
That's it.
failing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
trial and error. That's how you discover it. It is the best teacher. It really is.
Thank you.
Quickly before we let you go, come on. You've had a story or two. We've been on stage together. They were like with things, you know what I mean? When you're like on stage, you think to yourself, man, I'm dying. And I'm talking about early days. I'm not talking about now, because I'm now on that level as well. I couldn't care if I was dying with you. You don't find it funny. That's your thing. You pay to be here. I'm saying my piece. I'm leaving shortly. I'm okay with it. And you become that part. You become that person as a performer over time. Because this is your view now. But you remember the first, when we started out and you were like, you know, you could hear the crickets. You remember you had to come back to that group of comedians, and it was just, and we would all be like, yeah, that was good. That was it.
You know, I look forward to getting back onto stage and building up a repertoire now with the thicker skin that I have.
Yeah.
And the self-assurity that I have now. Now I have all the tools, you know what I mean? And the conversations. I'm a lot more famous than I was 7 years ago. So people do want to watch me fail. They want to watch you fail more now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I do think the higher you get, the lonelier it gets and the windier it is and the more conflict there is up there. Because I think now they want to be like, oh, let's see what this guy has to say. You know, let's see what he has to say. So same as the Springboks. They're killing everyone. Everyone's like, oh, change the rules, change the rules, change the rules.
Exactly.
But there's one thing. If you want to be at the top, you must just know that the fall is a lot higher. There's a bigger fall. And there's more on the line.
Yeah. Work hard every day, my friend, and stay the man you are and become the man you want to be, and keep inspiring
Most definitely.
people.
Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Siv Ngesi, thanks for coming on the show, man. We wish you well, and do join us to not into the distant future. Would love to have you back.
Definitely.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
Yeah. Thank you very much, man. We wish you well. All the best. Some great endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? You heard it there, Siv Ngesi. I mean, so many inspirational things he has said there.
Oh, yeah.
And it is striking. And let me just tell you, so Siv is a very hard worker. And because I know him, and he won't mind me saying this, and and I mean, he said it himself. You know, you got to work hard, you graft hard, you got to put it in, and Siv has achieved amazing things. And when we look around at what he's done, and you know, if can't really not look at a TV show with there, so he's involved in some sort of way with festivals and performing.
He's extremely busy.
Yeah, he's very, very busy. But it is about leaving the world in a better place, and that is what he spoke about.
That's exactly what he spoke about, definitely. And everybody just remember, you need to go and read up at www.wordmag.co.za. Go read up the article about him. And you know what, it's also just an interesting magazine, and it gives you so much information. And like I said, I've read it, seen the magazine itself. Do yourself a favor and actually just go onto the link and then go and read up about it. So it is this week. His cover will be out this week, but there has been other magazines as well, Dougal. So feel free to go and have a look at these.
Yeah, and it's a very insightful magazine as well. It's really bringing you the best of the best. So you really got to go check it out. It is absolutely exquisite in so many ways. And the one thing he said, he loved the photo shoot as well. So you know it's good. You know it's going to be good, man.
Definitely.
Gotta like it. Gotta like it. Gotta like it. Is that it, Rhoda?
That's it, Dougal. That's that.
So you got to look after yourselves and everybody around you as well. It was a true pleasure talking to Siv Ngesi as well today. Really some amazing insights and just sharing really great things and of course projects that he's involved with as well. And go check out all the details. If you go to his website, iamsiv.com, of course, that will lead you all the way where you need to be and go check it out. And it's really some inspirational stories, which is just fantastic. And of course, with this month, it is the 8th of July today. That is the day. So just a couple of days to go, and then it will be International Nelson Mandela Day.
So true.
Great opportunity for us to make a difference. And just don't make that day the Mandela Day. Just make it every day.
Make it every day.
Do it every day.
So
Every day.
true.
Become the person you want to walk in should you be lying on your deathbed.
There we go. That's what
Become
he said.
that man. Become that person right now. Be that person
So
right
true.
now. Thank you for the comments. Thank you to our special guest, Siv Ngesi, for joining us. And thank you very much for watching. And as always, we ask you to like and share this and definitely subscribe to the channel. And we will be back very soon with another exciting episode on Mahala Monday. That is it from us.
That's
Until next time, Rhoda,
Yes.
dankie.
Dankie. Plezier. Lekker aan verder and enjoy the evening. See you. Bye.
Ta-da.